Hi, folks. This is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report. As we get ready for a new open season, and this isn't quite as important if we're fishing for bullhead or even perch, although there's a lot of you out there that love perch fishing more than anything, and it takes a lot of specific skills and types of application and presentation to really do the best you can. And I guess the biggest thing of all is to know where the perch are going to be. But let me go to something I think is something I've touched on many, many times, but maybe not quite in the same way. And that is the importance of the type of fishing line that you choose to use. Now, a lot of times it's just what we enjoy the most, the type of rod and reel fishing that we enjoy. But over the past decade in particular, there's been huge developments and changes in fishing lines to take each type of fishing line and make it better and better because we have the technology to do it now. But I want you to think about this. Number one, if you want to fish on the surface, if you've got a lure that has to go on the surface, you don't want it to go under, you want it to look as alive as can be, monofilament is probably your best bet because monofilament floats. And this can be incredibly important because any surface lure that you have, if your line is floating, for example, fluorocarbon, another choice, sinks. So if you have a sinking line, it's going to pull the very nose of whatever lure you've got to stay on top of the water. It's going to pull it down a bit, and it's going to change the action of what it looks like. So if you're going to fish on the surface, monofilament is a really good choice. And monofilament is better now in so many ways than it ever was before. Then the other choice of line we talk about is fluorocarbon. To most of us, it's going to look the same on the spool. It looks like it's a plastic line, very similar to monofilament. The difference is, and there's several differences, fluorocarbon is denser. It may not weigh anymore, but it's denser, so it sinks down. And the denser the line, the more sensitive it becomes. If that line is denser, it's going to transfer inputs from the other end of the line through that line, and you're going to feel it either on your fingers or in your hand as you hold the rod. So fluorocarbon is going to enable you to feel your strikes a little better. Then the third type of line is braided line. But let's go back to fluorocarbon right now because it has a lot of pluses. Number one, they claim that it's invisible to the fish underwater. It really is not nearly as seeable. So if that's the case, the fish aren't going to be scared away by seeing this string attached to whatever they want to eat. So it has a huge benefit there. The other thing, and this is really, really important because if you spend a lot of money on lures and you go out and you're constantly breaking your line, like if you use too light a monofilament, fluorocarbon of the same pound test is going to be it's going to essentially be stronger because it's going to be so much more abrasion resistant that it's going to nick and get weak suddenly like monofilament can. Then the third kind of line that we've all been drawn to over the years is braided line, like they used to use on casting reels years and years ago. And that's developed to such a degree, it's unbelievable. It's smoother, it's slipperier, does so many things. But here's the benefit, it doesn't stretch. So it becomes even more sensitive that you can feel every little nick and bite and every little thing that your lure comes in contact with is your fishing. So that should make you a little bit better. Should make it allow you to set the hook better and do all those things. But each of them has disadvantages. But one of the things I want to tell you today, and I saw this on, I think it was Bill Dance's TV show. I want you to realize that the information I pass on to you comes from a lot of sources that aren't just me. It's people that maybe know more about fishing than me. It's places where you can get new techniques that we haven't become aware of yet. But anyway, there's a new line called tripolymer line. And what it does is it combines the benefits of fluorocarbon and monofilament into one line. And so it becomes like a super line. This is the sort of the hype around it. we'll see how it works. But it's something you should be aware of. And you can go online and you can find these type of things that I tell you about. But I think it's important. Line is our connection. It's the one connection from us to the fish. I mean, yeah, we've got hooks and we got rods and reels, but it's the line. And so the line in many ways should become the most important thing that you buy and decide to use in the type of fishing you're going to do. Until next time, folks, this is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report.